The sun just reflecting off the mist. The wildlife out for an early morning feed.
Mill Point, 1.2 kilometres. Kin Creek, 4 kilometres. That's where we went for a cruise yesterday. So why not? Come with me and we'll go and have a look what's down at Mill Point. And the sun's so warm. Mill Point, 400 metres. Transporting timber.
Timber getters like Carry Pine and Red Cedar in the Kalula and Kin scrubs. Bullock teams hauling timber from the forest to the Elanda Point sawmill become easily bogged in swampy terrain and wet weather, so a tramway was constructed. The tramway was built on raised earthen mounds through the swamp, enabling teams to work continuously, stinging logs out of the forest to the nearest point on the tramway. Logs were loaded onto carts using a winch on a trolley anchored to the tramway sleepers. Horses pulled the carts, each carrying a 4-tonne log down a steady gradient to the mill on the lake shore. In 1883, John Callaghan wrote home describing life at Elanda Point. I went away up the Noosa River to Kutharabah timber cutting. I liked the novelty. I understand what slab humpies are now. They are right enough in the summer, but just now I should say not so pleasant, for we have the nights very cold. Anyone who has not seen Australian scrub can have no idea of its grandeur. The timber seems endless. Rich timber resources attracted European settlers to Kalula from the 1860s. When gold was discovered in Gympie in 1867, McGee, Lyer and Company prospered. They established a sawmill on the banks of Lake Kutharabah at Elanda Point. The mill processed timber logs from nearby forests. The sawn timber was then towed down the river by flat-bottom paddle steamers to Cooloy on the north bank of the Noosa River at Tawantin, and then taken by steamer to Brisbane. Even today we can still see some of the remnants of the old jetty through the crystal clear water. A mill employee was proceeding to the mill after breakfast when, within about 50 yards of the building, he saw the boiler explode. He went forward to render assistance and met Philip Malloy limping away with one of his feet blown off. Patrick Malloy was found to be dreadfully scalded. Charles Long was frightfully injured and picked up dead. Joseph White's leg was blown off and he was seriously scalded. He is not expected to live. And Patrick Tierney was badly scalded also. The boiler shed was of course blown into ruins. It appears that the men had just had their breakfast and, being a cold morning, were standing with their backs to the boiler to warm themselves. They had a slight warning, for a portion of the boiler began to bulge. All 5 men died from their injuries. An inquiry into the explosion made positive changes to the industrial safety regulations at the time. The mill closed in 1892 and dairy farmers occupied the area from 1910 to 1975 with periods of cattle grazing. Dairying was never particularly successful and the property changed ownership a number of times. The property was transferred to the Queensland Government and Elanda Point was gazetted a national park in 1975. This chimney was part of the farmhouse at the dairy, and it's always amazing how the chimney seems to be the last part standing in been some sort of memorial to where the fire should have been.
Well, that didn't take very long. 40 minutes or so, and I'm back.
You could spend hours lazing around here. It is just so peaceful, tranquil and relaxing. It is only early though, and time being of no consequence. Let's see what's around the next corner.
Well, it was a very nice walk. Not very far, but so pretty.
What are you doing? Hey? So determined to get fed, aren't you? Hey? Hey? I've got nothing for you. I'm not feeding the wildlife. I call these two wacky and cracky. This one's a female, I think. That's wacky. Cracky's the one over there. They've been hanging around me for a few nights. I don't feed them, but I think they wish I would. I just hope everybody's messy.